If you go down to the second paragraph, I read that the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says that if we continue with rapidly increasing fossil fuel use, global average temperatures may rise by 6 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
But when? How long? 2 years?
Well, 6 degrees Celsius by the end of the century.
Why don't you say that? Because it's a bit sensational, because we're kind of thinking, whoa, like maybe next year.
Well, I mean, okay, by the end of the century, I mean, whenever, if we have a, right, if we did a global temperature increase of 6 degrees Celsius over 500 years, we'd still be damned, so it's,
But I just got the feeling that you were leaving that out because it had more impact if you just left out the fact that that's in 100 years' time.
Well,
You know what I mean?
over a century. It would be a gradual increase over a century. I don't think that's attempt to be sensational. I just think that's, perhaps a piece of bad writing.
Well, but those aren't the figures, because I've read the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel's report on climate change, and they don't say that.
I think you'll find the fourth assessment report does say that.
I think you'll find it
says
doesn't.
5.8 degrees is perfectly within, is the upper limit of what we're expecting for this century.
No, it says the best figure is 4 centigrade. What you've done is you've gone to the top figure of the possible range, and that's cheating. Because you want to have the most impact with your, you want to have the most impact with your statistics, and I think that's useful, but it's a bit tabloid.
Well, no, I mean, there's
the best figure is 4 centigrade.
Up to means going up to the upper limit. That's what, I mean, you want to talk about basic use of language, that's it.
Yeah, but you could also say that the best estimate for the low scenario is 1.1 centigrade over 100 years, which is almost irrelevant. But you don't mention that.
1.1 is not almost irrelevant at all. I mean, like, before we get to it, like, so when the 1 to 2 degree mark, we're talking about most of the world's coral reefs dying out. We're talking about huge areas of forest dying out.
The next sentence...
We're talking about the West Siberian peat bog thawing out and releasing all its carbon, which is equivalent to 73 years of human carbon emissions going off in one go. And if that goes, then you get the warming that will be associated with that amount of carbon coming into the atmosphere quickly, and you start getting all the feedback mechanisms kicking in, and one thing leads to another. So that's really not irrelevant. As sort of, the 1 to 2 degree mark is absolutely frightening.
Yeah, but you should put all the information on your website, not just the bits that support your argument best.
Well,
tell you why, because kids might read it. And if I was 10, and I got the impression that you were saying that the world was about to end, I'd have nightmares.
Well,
take your next sentence. The last time this happened was 251 million years ago, and some 99% of all living individuals died.
Yes, that's what happened at the end of the Permian period when you had a 6 degree temperature increase in about a century, yeah.
That was an asteroid.
No, that was a series of volcanic eruptions. I think you should do your homework.
Well, I think if you... Oh, really? Well, if you'd like to go to the BBC science editor's David Whitehouse paper on that, he reports that 90% of marine species died and 70% of land vertebrates died. There's no way you're going to get 99% of all living individuals died. You tell me where you got that piece of information from. I'll be happy to go there and say that you're right and I'm wrong.
Oh, God, I didn't write the website, but I can look into this and get it back to you if you like.
You better had, hadn't you? Try the next one. This is the next sentence. Almost everything we do produces carbon dioxide emissions. Work, travel, housing. To cut emissions, as many scientists suggest, by 90%, means serious changes need to happen. Can you name me any one of these scientists?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
go ahead.
Okay, well, the stuff we're talking about, the Tyndall Centre, we're talking about the Oxford University...
No, the scientists, the name. The name of the scientist.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says if we get stabilised at 450 parts per million of carbon dioxide equivalent in the atmosphere, then we need to keep it 2 degrees below pre-industrial levels.
I just want the name of the scientist. Right. You say many
that's
scientists.
The IPCC. Do you want a list of 5,000 scientists?
3 or 4 names would be good so we can check. If you say many scientists suggest, that's what they write in The Sun and in the Daily Star. Experts, an insider. You see my point?
Yeah, well, yeah, except that what we're doing is IPCC stuff. It's really, this is like, 98% of climate change.
I think that you're barking up the right tree, and I think you guys have got a good idea, and power to you for your courage. But just tidy up the representation of the information for the sake of children and for the sake of yourselves, because as a journalist, I come away feeling that your heart's in the right place, but your head's got a bit of work to do.
All right, well, I don't understand why you're being so insulting and patronising and why you're not really listening to answers, but anyway.
Because this website is woolly.
Well, no, I think it's clear. I think the whole point is to try and get it to be clear and stark, actually. That's the whole point. That's why...
I think we've established that you're... I think we've established that...
Do you want to hear an answer to this or not? Stop interrupting me, you rude man.
I beg your pardon?
Please stop interrupting me. Stop being so rude.
Well, stick to the point. I asked you some questions and you haven't been able to answer them.
Well, no, I was actually trying to answer them and then you interrupted me.
You want an argument? I'm just trying to give you a bit of useful advice.
No, you're trying to argue with me.
I'm trying to give you some useful advice because I think you kids are barking up the right tree and I'd like to be on your side, but I can't go along with an organisation that is selective in the information it presents, which you blatantly have on your website.
Explain the selectivity to me.
I have already, 5 minutes ago. I don't want to repeat myself. The people who are listening to this heard it.
Well, no, the words up to 6 degrees. I mean, I say 10-year-olds might read that and go, when I was 10, I understood what the words up to meant. They mean this is an upper limit of, it means a maximum.
What do you know about child development?
Well,
I'm a qualified lecturer. I'm a qualified lecturer in the theory of education and child development. Don't tell me, unless you're better qualified than I am, how 10-year-olds function cerebrally.
Okay, well, if you're so qualified, then would you say, in your professional opinion, that a 10-year-old understands that the words up to mean up to?
Not when
your professional opinion on that linguistic point there, if you're so expert in child development.
Yes. No.
Yes, no. Which one is that? You just give me two completely contradictory words. Do you understand basic words? Again, with this monosyllables, and you don't even understand them.
There are more important things. There are more important things here than winning an argument. I'm just giving you some useful advice as an extremely competent journalist and somebody who cares about.
A competent journalist who doesn't know when you're yes or no or what the word's up to